Hello, everyone, and welcome to another year of Talking Games with Kelly and Andrew. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
You look surprised.
Well, I'm going to, in full disclosure, you froze for a second on my screen. So when you came back, you were talking like a little bit faster to compensate. So you're like, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another year of Talking Games with Kelly. And I was like,
Wow.
What just happened? I just got whiplash.
Well, it's year 2, so we have to talk at twice the speed.
That's actually true.
Because
That's actually true.
We're releasing twice as many episodes because there's twice as much news. This is false.
Wow. Can you imagine 2 episodes a week? We wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, well, we could talk about, like, our days at that point. If we got to that point, we'd just have to talk about whatever. Like, the stuff we talk about for an hour before and after recording would have to be recorded and published.
Yeah.
All the gossip.
All the hot goss.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody, though.
Okay.
So, Kelly.
Yes?
This week was well, it wasn't E3.
Well, hold on.
But it basically was kind of like E3.
Yeah.
For that reason, I feel it is appropriate to structure this episode pretty similarly to our last E3 special. So we'll go through and we'll talk about all of the news that came from all of the major conferences, and we'll stop and discuss anything we think is interesting. But how do you feel? Do you think we should maybe start with some of the stuff that came before or outside of these events?
Yeah, I think that would be a good starting point chronologically.
So let's start from the most recent thing, because that makes actually very little sense, but oh well. Today, PlayStation Plus Premium launched. So this is the new version of PlayStation Plus. So for twice of the current annual price, you also get access to a large amount of PlayStation 4 and 5 games, as well as a bevy of classic games from the PlayStation 3, 2, 1, and PSP era. And by bevy, I mean not a lot, actually.
Oh.
There's one PSP game, and that's it. And then the PS2 and PS1 collection's a little underwhelming. The PS3 collection's gigantic because they pulled over like the streaming PS Now stuff. I played a little tiny bit of it because it came out today, and I worked today, so I just kind of ran out a little early, and so I could play a tiny bit extra. And the PS3 streaming was working just fine. It was a little annoying that I had to stream it, but oh well. I played a little bit of Tekken 2 from the PlayStation 1, and it was running very well. There were some issues with other regions' launches because they were running at 50 frames per second and not 60. That's not a problem here. It's just 60, so good for us, I guess. And then I played a little bit of Echo Chrome on the PSP because it was the only PSP option. It looked pretty good. I'm just really confused why they introduced PSP games just to have one PSP game.
Uno. But
the launch is also real confusing. I'm kind of happy. Like the selection is pretty cool, and it was a pretty minimal upgrade. Like I had to pay $30 extra to upgrade the rest of my year, and I think I got a year for about $30 on sale at Christmas time. So I'm gonna take it. I'm not complaining, but the service is confusing. That is for sure. I feel like Game Pass is a lot more straightforward.
Yeah, I guess I get confused by the tiered system. And the launch itself is a bit confusing to me. So I would echo your sentiment. Game Pass is a lot less confusing.
Yeah. I guess PlayStation still has potentially years to iron this out before they catch up with Game Pass, but I'll give them a couple weeks. I'll probably play some games before our next episode and see if there's any comments I have about the emulation or anything. But at surface value, everything seems to be running pretty well.
That's good. You know what will be running well, hopefully?
What?
The roller coasters at Super Nintendo World.
I would really hope that those would run well. If not, we might have some deaths.
Yeah. So Universal Studios Hollywood tweeted right at the beginning of June that they were going to open a Super Nintendo World in early 2023. So that includes like a Mario Kart ride, among other things that we don't know about. But yeah, early 2023. I think that's interesting. I've never been to Universal. I haven't been to the one in California or Florida, so I don't know anything about it other than there was a Jaws ride.
Are we gonna go for the podcast?
Sure, yeah, we'll do it as a business expense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should repurpose the Jaws animatronic and use it for the chain chomp.
That's actually really fun.
Hey, man. I'm just saying.
Bark,
I'm just throwing
bark.
that out there.
Bark, bark.
I do love the chain chomps. I hope they are incorporated in some way.
We'll have to go and find out in person.
True.
We could go to Japan like now and do it, but
Oh, wow. That would be like probably more expensive.
a little bit.
Probably.
Well, if you want to spend a little less money but feel like you're still having an adventure, perhaps you'll be able to do that on November 18th as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet releases. We got a new trailer outside of any conferences. We got a new trailer for the new Pokemon game. Showed off a lot of stuff. Showed off the professors. There's 2 different ones, one for each version. Showed off the legendaries. Showed us the animations on the new starters, as well as 4-player multiplayer that can be played at all times together. Not entirely clear what that means exactly. It's something we'll have to wait and see. But they also confirmed that it is open world completely. You can even tackle all of the gyms in whatever order you see fit. It appears the catching system is definitely back to how it was, but it still has like some stealth and you can sneak up on Pokemon, so not completely throwing away everything from Legends Arceus. And also, little tidbit, some of the music is by Toby Fox, creator of Undertale. And also Lechonk. There's a pig. His name's Lechonk.
He is.
He
is named Lechonk.
They're really leaning into the meme factor in the best way possible, I think.
And I love the little olive. The little olive guy.
The Smoliv.
Smoliv. Oh my god. The localization team went crazy with those names.
What are your thoughts on this trailer overall, Kelly?
I thought it looked fun. I mean, the open world looks interesting. That co-op looks interesting. I'm not sure. Like, I wasn't like uber impressed with the what's the word I'm looking for? The environments.
Yeah.
They do very much look like Sword and Shield, but I will say I enjoyed. I think I got Shield. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think I'll enjoy this for what it is. I think the open world aspect of like going to any gym whenever is like really crazy, and I'm like, it's my brain can't compute like how they're gonna do that. I guess it's level scaling, but
Probably, yeah. But also, like, that's confusing because level scaling means like evolution scaling and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I'm excited to find out. I thought the professors were kind of cool. They seem to be going for some sort of like, technology versus, not technology, I guess, which sort of reminds me of how it was for Gen 4.
Yeah.
Like, Team Platinum. But anyway, no, Team Galaxy.
Yeah, I think it's Galactic, but
Team Galactic.
I was pretty sure it was Galactic, but
Platinum.
you kept saying things, and I was like, wait, is it not Galactic?
Yeah, like Cyrus and Team Galactic. Anyway, I did not like the legendaries. They looked fake to me, like they look like fake designed Pokemon. But
Well,
that's
then,
okay.
I guess I don't have to ask you which one you're gonna pick since you don't care. Then.
Well, I'm gonna pick Violet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you want is it for professors or legendaries?
For the professor.
Okay, I'm picking Scarlet for the professor, so I'm glad we're on different pages here in the best way.
Listen, I saw him and I said, I cannot do Violet, so.
YouTube has this new feature where they tell you the most replayed parts of video, and the first most replayed part is the legendaries because that makes sense. The second
Mhm.
most is LeChonk's reveal. So
No, that's so cute.
let that be said. But I'm
That is
excited.
very
I think it's something we kind of need to see some more of. But at the same time, I feel like it does remind me of Sword and Shield and like its environmental design, but just with a lot more polish. So for that, I'm excited, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see as we approach that November 18th release window.
Yeah. Also, we got some new Sonic Frontiers gameplay. I think I
Go ahead, you got this.
it's
Uh-huh.
uh
Yeah.
I don't know about it. I don't know. You're more of a Sonic head than I, Andrew. Explain to me your thought behind this
Stuff.
gameplay.
So they've revealed through IGN some gameplay previews of like world exploration and combat. And I thought it was really, really dumb because they were poorly cut together. Like, it felt like there was just some person given a controller and they're like, play it for a little bit. And they're like, okay. And then they recorded it and that's the trailer. Because during Sonic Central, which was like a little stream of Sonic news that we won't go into all of it, but they showed a little snippet of like the world and this weird enemy and running on like the snake-like enemy's back. And I thought that was really cool, and it's cut together in an actual trailer. And I'm like, this game might be okay, but you're showing it off in a way where it just looks like an unfinished fan project. And I know they're capable of more because this other trailer, this like 30-second tease in the Sonic Central was pretty good. So I still maintain optimism, but my goodness, the way they are showing it so far is bad. It's bad trailers.
It feels like it feels like they don't have any like hope in the game by what they're showing off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's either hopeless or genuine stupidity.
Like it just looks really barren. I don't know how to explain it. It looks very barren and it's beautiful. It looks like Death Stranding, but you threw Sonic in there.
See, that description sounds sick. That sounds awesome.
I don't know. And Sonic moves weird. It doesn't feel like he belongs in this earth. On this earth. I don't know. It looks like he should have a really tall backpack and he should be Norman Reedus.
Okay, so this sounds incredible, actually. I really want to see that now. Like, not even joking. I just want to see that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because I didn't really pay attention. I saw a bunch of tweets about it. It is really weirdly cut together.
Yeah, that's
there was
the
just
thing.
a very
It's
harsh cut.
It's not necessarily the worst gameplay. It's a bad selection, but it's not the worst gameplay. But it is poorly, like how is this supposed to make me excited? It's just like a snippet of kind of boring gameplay.
Yeah, and like they're not. There's like weird pop-in the background.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
it doesn't seem like they're very like proud of what they're showing off here.
No, and like with that pop-in and stuff, it makes me worry that maybe this is like not going to be ready, but they're still going to release it. Or this is just really early gameplay, in which case, why did you give them that?
Yeah. It's not looking great, folks.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's some better games to come out.
Do you think?
Perhaps.
Maybe a game that doesn't have Sonic in it, but does have army guys in it?
Yeah, like that.
So there was a world premiere trailer for the new Modern Warfare 2 game. Yes, I am still confused.
I like the YouTube description that says a new era is coming, and I'm like, I thought the new era arrived when Modern Warfare 2 came out like 12 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, and then it came out again.
But this is not those two.
Right. This is something totally new. But it's not. It's a new era, but it's the same cast. Characters that were once dead are now alive. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't really get Call of Duty anymore. I don't understand the property anymore. There's like 16 different versions of the game. There's like Black Ops. There's like Advanced Warfare. There's Modern Warfare. There's what's the there's like Vanguard, which I thought that one was cool because it was like historical. But then they also did the kill zone or what. I don't even remember. I don't even know.
You just said to other games. You said Killzone Warframe. Those are two different series.
The newer one that's out, that's like a co-op with like
Warzone.
multiplayer. Warzone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Killzone Warframe. I mean, Warzone is not that far off. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of looks like a standard Modern Warfare Call of Duty game.
Is there maybe some news about something that you do know about, since we are both kind of ignorant here?
No. That's it. That's all that happened. Can you imagine? No,
well, if you just like forgot about the news that like this show has been waiting for a year.
In early June 2nd, there was whisperings, mumblings that the Dragon Age title would be revealed, and then it was kind of leaked, but then BioWare itself was like, surprise, here's the title. So it's called Dragon Age Dreadwolf, all one word. There was like a new logo as well. Some interesting typography. Which is, I have theories. I'm not going to bore you with them, but let me just say this. I am excited. I feel good. I like the title. I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people do. I feel like it's very divisive, much like the character itself, the character that it's named for. So that's exciting. This is like the most definitive Dragon Age news we've had in like 6 months. So you're really just gonna have to be patient with me, because I'm very excited, but I'm containing myself very powerfully right now. They released it in a blog post, and they were pretty much like, "Hey, you'll see more as the year goes on," and the wording kind of made it clear that we weren't going to see them for the rest of this sort of like press cycle in the summer. But we might see them, in the fall or late summer.
Mm-hmm.
They also, a little bit later, like 2 weeks later, a week later, this was like a few days ago, they released a trailer for a new Netflix series, an animated Netflix series called Dragon Age Absolution. 6 episodes debuting or premiering in December of this year.
No thoughts?
I have some thoughts. The series is supposed to take place in Tevinter, which I'm excited for. I think it'll be a good lead-in into the game because we are going to Tevinter in the next game. So I think it'll be good to sort of familiarize ourselves with that place because we've never been there in the games before. We've heard so much about it. They're kind of like the bad guy nation, but we've never been. So I think it'll be fun to sort of familiarize ourselves with the place before we actually go. I don't know anything about this animated series. I don't know if it's going to be a prequel to all of the games. I don't know if it's going to be like an in-between prequel to Dragon Age 4 or Dreadwolf now, as it's called. I'm not really sure, but I thought it looked good. I'm really, really glad that it was an animated series. I think that maybe we knew that it was, well, we didn't know it was going to be an animated series, but it would have been really hard to do a live action Dragon Age and not have the obvious comparisons to any high fantasy series in the past like 10 years.
Especially The Witcher, because it's a video game adaptation on Netflix.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about the animated series. I would like to see a little bit more of the animated series. It wasn't specific enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shot or two that was like, oh yeah, that's Dragon Age, but it was very like whimsical fantasy, characters we've never met. So we don't really know. It maybe it's one of those things that started off as something different and then they put other things in it, which is a little bit concerning, but we really don't know anything yet, so it's really hard to say. Same as Dragon Age Dreadwolf. We really don't know that much yet, so it's really hard to say anything about it.
Hopefully it's not that long until we see something.
Yeah, I'm thinking end of the summer. That is my theory.
Okay. I believe you.
Thank you.
To keep the Netflix animated train rolling, they also released a trailer for Castlevania Nocturne. We knew about this show. It is following Richter, a descendant of the main characters from the Castlevania show that we have seen before. It is set during the French Revolution, and we got a teeny itty bitty trailer. It is just showing the back of Richter on a dock and then shows the side profile of his face for just a little bit, and the name being revealed as Nocturne. No release date. Really not even a lot of plot details, but I am extremely excited. I think it's really cool that this Richter design kind of echoes that of like the main characters of Castlevania, the animated show, because, you know, this is a descendant of them, and they based it on those designs first, more so than the video games, which I thought was a very bold choice, and I appreciate it, and I think it looks really cool, and I'm very, 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 very excited.
Are you very excited?
I'm so excited. Genuinely.
I'm excited too. I enjoyed the first Castlevania series. I don't think I ever finished it, but I really enjoyed it. I am curious if certain characters will be included.
Are you talking about Alucard?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything.
Well, Alucard's a vampire. He lives a long, long time.
I know, but what I'm wondering is, are they going to like have him be a part of it, or is he not going to be in that at all?
My speculative guess is that he will be lightly involved in this to set up a more substantial Symphony of the Night plotline, either in this or in another series, because this Richter's plot ultimately leads to Symphony of the Night. So I'm excited to see that. Another thing I'm excited to see is a Final Fantasy VII event. There's an anniversary event premiering on the 16th, 2 days from now at time of release. We don't know what'll be in it, but it'll be a short little presentation. It is safe to presume that there will be some Final Fantasy VII stuff there because of the fact that it's a anniversary event. But I don't think that we can put money on Remake Part 2. I think we're probably going to see like Ever Crisis, that mobile remake of the original. We're probably going to see perhaps some merchandise kind of stuff. I feel like this is probably going to be more of a merchandising thing than an actual game show. But hey, they did a Kingdom Hearts anniversary event a couple months ago and revealed Kingdom Hearts 4. So who's to stop them from doing the same thing with Remake Part 2?
Who's to say? Not me.
Probably them, actually. They're probably the ones to say. It was a foolish question on my part.
No, I mean, I don't think it was foolish.
You know who is foolish?
Who?
Byleth. No, Byleth's not foolish. I'm sorry.
I would argue
that.
I would argue that Shez is probably the more foolish of the two.
Well, you might know better than I, because there was a trailer released for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. This is the sequel, sorta, reimagining of Fire Emblem 3 Houses in the Warriors gameplay style. There was a new gameplay trailer to reveal the Ashen Wolves. I said that funny. From the DLC of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And we saw their new designs. I think they're very cute and they look very nice. And they also announced that there was a full demo coming out with the first 4 chapters. It is available now. I'm afraid I was out of town all of last week, so I wasn't able to play it. But Kellie, you played a bit of it, right?
I sure did.
So this game's out in a couple weeks. Makes sense to release a demo. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was interesting. I'm sure many people have said this, but having a voiced protagonist really protagonist. I'm sorry, I do not enunciate. Having a voiced protagonist really enriches the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel wistful for what we could have had with Three Houses with a voiced Byleth, because I think the voice actors for Byleth are both really, really great. And they would have knocked it out of the park because they knocked it out of the park in the demo, because you do hear Byleth's voice. It's an interesting demo. It's very, very long. It's like one of the longest demos I've ever played.
Did you finish it?
No.
Okay.
It's not long.
How much did you
for
play?
Like 3 hours.
Whoa! How many chapters did you finish? Like 3 chapters or what?
3 chapters. Yeah, I probably played for like 2 hours.
Okay.
I would have to check, but yeah, I played the first 3 chapters. There's only 4, but it's very accelerated. The timeline is very accelerated. So what you experience in Three Houses, it's accelerated like times 100 in Three Hopes.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's very fast. There are characters that I was excited that had a larger role in Three Hopes. So that was cool, and we already have seen it. You do get, I don't know how spoilery this is, but you do get to pick a house. As you do in Three Houses. I picked the Golden Deer because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
In my heart. I have a really hard time with Warriors style gameplay, and I still am. And the camera is just a little bit jank. I don't know. I'm struggling with it. But I want to keep going for the story and the characters. So we'll see. I'm really like having an internal debate with my soul if I should buy this game. I don't know if I really enjoy playing it that much. But I want to do it for them. And also maybe I just need to like power through and get to a point where it's more fun to play.
Was that an emotional hiccup because you're so emotional about this?
No, that was actually a post acid reflux hiccup.
Oh. Well, I'm actually very sorry then. That was not funny.
No, it's a good thing because I had acid reflux really bad like 2 weeks ago. And then I started a 14-day treatment plan.
Remember at the beginning when we said that we were going to have to like start talking about our lives just to fill episodes? And now we're talking about the 14-day acid reflux plan that I recommended.
Anyway, it worked. So now I have the hiccups again.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So that was the Three Hopes demo. I think that it's well worth playing the demo for a little bit just to get a good feel for the game. And if you like the story of Three Houses, I think you will really enjoy this and the characters. It was really, really nice to see Claude again. I just love him so much.
I'm real excited to try it, and I'll be definitely trying it sometime this week.
Yeah. If you liked Age of Calamity, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Or the original Fire Emblem Warriors, probably.
Yeah, you'd probably like this one because it does. I think they did a good job of marrying the two the two game plays.
Yeah.
Because there are still aspects of Fire Emblem that are there. Like not links. I call them social links. What are they called? Supports.
Supports.
There are still supports and like tea time and stuff. So
I'm very excited. That is the end of our outside of event news. So now let's jump on in to some of the events that we had this week. This past 2 weeks, I should say. The first event we had was the PlayStation State of Play. We talked about this a little bit last time we had an episode, and it has since premiered. So Kelly, do you want to hop right in? Tell us what some of the early things they announced were?
Sure. So this was something very exciting. A lot of people are looking forward to this. The Resident Evil 4 remake was announced for the PlayStation 5 and for Xbox Series X. And that's coming out March 23rd next year. 24th? It's coming out March 24th.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
2023.
I just put a 4 up. Like that would imply what you should be thinking.
No, that's okay. I understood what you meant. It just took me a second to process. So,
yay.
This excites me. I think Resident Evil 4 is one of the best, if not the best, Resident Evil game.
It's up there.
And And now it being more accessible is going to be a lot more fun for me, personally.
I'm
You don't have to whip out
really
the GameCube to play it. Or the Wii.
well. It's on
It's on Wii,
everything,
too.
so if you could play it on your PS5 if you wanted to, but this is pretty graphics, so
Yeah, I would like a remake.
it looks a lot more like Gothic, and obviously it looks like more disturbing because it's more realistic now. But like, I'm really excited by the new art style that they're going for here. I think I'm really excited to see everything this game has, and there's so much goofy stuff in Resident Evil 4 that I think is going to be even goofier with like photorealistic graphics.
I just have to say, one of my first experiences with Resident Evil 4 was I don't know if anybody remembers the YouTube poop genre.
Yeah,
There was a Resident Evil 4 YouTube poop that I really enjoyed. So
I like that you couldn't even control yourself there for a sec.
So I hope that whoever made that, or somebody can recreate it using the remake.
You could be that person, Kelly.
I don't have a back catalog of all the noises and sound effects that they use for those stupid videos
You're cracking yourself up.
from like 2009 or whatever, 2008. God, I don't even remember. That was a long time ago. Anyway, that wasn't the only Resident Evil related news that we got. They also announced that Resident Evil Village is getting a VR mode for PSVR 2.
Whoop, whoop.
So that's pretty cool for everybody who wants to see Lady Dimitrescu. Dimitrescu? I don't know.
Now
how to
I
say
feel
her
like
name.
we've had a year flashback because this is literally the exact discussion we had on like our first episode or second episode.
You can see her in all the VR glory that you so choose. So this is really exciting for everybody, actually. I don't know a single person that played that game that didn't admire her in some way, shape, or form. So that's cool. And then they kind of were done with the Resident Evil news. They were like, we're done with that now. But we're not done with zombies. They announced that Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which is the VR Walking Dead game, is getting a sequel. So
Yay.
that's exciting for the people who enjoy that game. Not me.
I've been meaning to play it because it's like really one of the most esteemed VR games, but I just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, I also like VR kind of gives me a headache, so I think about really tapping into VR for more than like an hour, and it makes me want to pop an ibuprofen and lay down with a glass of water or oat milk.
Well, maybe while you're laying down, you can call the mountain. Horizon call. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, what?
It was
go
really. I just go ahead.
Was it going to be stupid?
Yeah.
Then I want to.
Of course it was. Every
Then
time I opened my mouth, it's something stupid.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I don't want to call the mountain. That's literally all I was gonna say.
Oh, that was a lot of buildup.
No, I told you it's stupid.
Horizon Call of the Mountain got a full trailer finally. It opens with a man talking to us slightly askew. I love when video game trailers like keep the person talking at the start when they post them on YouTube, and it's kind of scary. Anyway, the game itself.
He was askew.
The game itself looks really, really stunning. I'm excited by this trailer to see what the PlayStation VR 2 can do. I'm not particularly thrilled about it being Horizon, but my goodness, graphically it looks incredible. So I'm excited by that alone. They also announced VR is done. They are talking now about other games, and they announced that Spider-Man, the 2018 classic, can it be a classic? 2018?
Yeah.
The 2018 video game is coming to PC August 12th. So if you're a PC gamer and you've been waiting for this one, here you go. Congratulations, it's here. It has the cuter Peter Parker too.
Who's the cuter Peter Parker?
They redesigned his face for the remaster.
Let me see about this. Is he really cuter?
Yeah, I think he's a lot cuter.
Let's find out together.
Okay, I mean, I already know.
Let me find out personally on my own.
Well, while Kelly's looking at the cuteness of Spider-Man, they also announced that Stray, the cat stealth game, is coming out July 19th. And, excitingly, it will be included in the PlayStation Plus tiers that we discussed earlier. So it'll be available on Extra and Premium. I was really excited by this new trailer, but also excited by the prospect of any new games coming to this premium service because they really made it sound like it was only going to be old stuff. So a game coming on launch day, even if it's not the biggest PlayStation game in the world, is exciting to me.
To me, this is the biggest PlayStation game in the world.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Are you getting premium? PlayStation Plus
No.
premium? Okay, so you'll have to pay for this with real money.
Yeah, as opposed to the fake money I would use to pay for the subscription service. Just kidding. I just really like the little robot people.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
cute.
love the little kitty cat. Oh my god. See, I'm not really a cat person. I've always been a dog person, but then I got a cat, and it's like once you get a cat, you like,
Life
you know
changed.
what I mean?
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you mean. That's exactly what happened to me.
Same thing happened to you.
I was a dog person.
But,
Now I have a cat.
Me and my partner were talking about how amazing it would be if they let you use skins for the cat.
And
like
you could make it
different
look like
fur
your
patterns.
cat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But then I told him I feel like that would kind of stress me out because I feel like I would have to like really, really take care of the cat because I would put my cat in that cat's shoes.
and those
and it would-
little
and her
those little
paw.
boots.
Oh my god, they're so cute. But I don't know if I could handle the stress of like putting my cat through all of that.
I understand that completely now.
I'm so excited for this game.
Before we move on to anything perhaps a little more upsetting, which Spider-Man is cuter?
The new one.
Okay, just making sure you agreed.
You were right.
Of course I was.
You were right about that. So a new horror game was also shown off at the State of Play, called the Callisto Protocol. It looks spooky. It's coming out in December. It's like a space sci-fi horror game. This was also shown off at Summer Games Fest, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But what was shown at the State of Play was just like a cinematic trailer. I didn't see any gameplay, but maybe I was
No, you're
mistaken.
correct. The Summer Games Fest one was just gameplay.
Gameplay, right?
Yeah. It's
I thought it looked cool. It kind of reminds me of like I don't know why I was kind of getting like Dead Space vibes.
it's
I guess
just
because
in
it's
space. It's
yeah, I
literally
guess
just
just
Dead
because it's
Space.
in space. There was some like body horror stuff though, and I feel like that is really a marker of Dead Space. But
And
there's also
like
robots.
dismemberment, like you shoot the limbs of your enemies and the limbs get sliced off, which is like Dead Space's like thing.
yeah,
But none of this is to complain. I think it looks really incredible. I knew this game existed because it's by the PUBG team, and that sounded like a bad thing to me. But this looks really incredible, and like I'm genuinely pretty excited. It's really gross.
it's so nasty.
It's really,
Yeah, it looks good though.
really grotesque.
Nasty, just nasty. Not cute. Not little kitty cats lost in the world. But they also showed off a game called Rollerdrome, which is a roller. It's like this kind of like weird, like not 2D, but it's like what's the word? It's
Cell shaded?
Cell shaded, I guess. It kind of
Yeah.
looks like cell shaded rotoscoped.
Yeah.
It's a rollerblading game, out on August 4th this summer. It did not look appealing to me at all. But I'm kind of a hater, so I don't know.
It doesn't look bad. It's not for me either, but I do think it's pretty, and the style's interesting at the very least.
The design is really cool. I feel like they could have really done a lot more with it.
It looks exactly like Sable on the Xbox. Well, I guess it's coming to
you're
PlayStation 2. It looks I thought it was a Sable port at first,
Oh,
but it
Yeah,
is
you're
Rollerdrome.
yeah. I don't know. It's not doing anything for me, but maybe it'll do something for you. But you know what? That's your choice. Just like in dating sims, you can choose who you like to date. Because that is another thing that they showed off at the State of Play. At the State of Play, let me just be clear about that. They did show us a dating sim. I'm just throwing this out for you. It's called Eternites, like eternity. Very good stuff. It's also there's combat in the game, but it's marketed as a dating. It's kind of confusing.
I think it's I think it's like 50-50 because like this trailer's like half action, half dating sim, like stills, and then like 1% hold hands with R1.
You know what? I'm talking a lot of smack for someone who has played Persona 3, 4, and 5, which are kind of just dating sims with action. So let me be quiet. Maybe this will be a really, really great game.
It looks really pretty at the very least. It's real. I love the art style.
It is very nice. I didn't see release date. Do you see release date? Let me look.
Early 2023.
Oh, it is funny that you can see the most replayed part.
Yeah, that's a really new feature.
It's particularly funny on this video.
Because it's the hold hands with R1 part.
Yeah, and then it's like the CG where she's like got her head on the desk.
Yeah. You cannot hide your intentions, YouTube viewers.
YouTube knows what you're looking at. And so do I now. Let's see. Early 2023. So, I don't know. I have no interest. But you know what? That's okay. If I was in this dating sim, I would have 0 hearts. I'd have 1 heart. No?
0. All right, so Capcom came back at the end of the show to show off Street Fighter 6. We knew this game was coming out due to a cinematic, but this is a full reveal, meaning in-game cinematics and a bunch of gameplay. There was also the reveal of Guile at another showcase, so we now know 5 of the characters in it. I am pumped for this game. I think the visual style is really incredible and really, really deliberate, if that makes sense. Like they have a vision and they're sticking to it hard. I think the single player is really getting me excited because it looks like you can actually explore the world in like a third-person manner, presumably to go between like activities and fights. And I think that's a really, really good idea to make this a lot more engaging for people who are playing by themselves. Because I personally don't like playing online with games like this. I get frustrated, but I love the visuals and I love the actual gameplay. So this is a really cool idea to have like third-person exploration in a world so that you can play through a story. And I'm just real excited. I think it's just so stunning, especially knowing that this game is late next year probably. So there's a lot of polish still to be done. I'm so excited to see the game.
Yeah, the character models look like really good.
Mm-hmm.
In my humble opinion.
And there's so many like painterly things going on, like a bunch of different like paint strokes and stuff that look really incredible.
Yeah, it's like street art.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the point.
Well, I'm excited. I'm really thrilled and it was really cool to see it. And I'm really excited to see more as we go through the next year and get more gameplay and character reveals.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
It's so pretty. This show got closed out with Final Fantasy XVI, a full-scale reveal, as well as a summer of 2023 release window. I have always been excited for this game since we've known. I thought it looked good when we saw it the first time, but by goodness, they did a lot of work, and it looks unbelievably better. The combat looks really fleshed out and very, very polished. And I think the story is very exciting. I like this medieval style, but still with tons of fantasy elements. I think it's really cool that the summons are like the central element of the plot. And like, I can't explain it fully because I don't understand it, but it's like the summons are attached to different characters. So I just want to see what this game's going to be. And I think the combat looks really, really fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm also excited that they're sort of returning to a medieval kind of, not roots, but, well, yeah, I guess the first Final Fantasy game was medieval.
Yeah.
While still sort of maintaining the stylistic way that they do combat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It looks beautiful. Very, like, high fidelity.
Oh, yeah.
I like the character models. That's another thing that I'm really big on. I like looking at unique characters. And yeah, I'm excited for the summons because we all know the summons, you know, they're familiar to us.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of cool to see them sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess utilized in a different way than they normally are. Maybe not different, but
yeah,
a new way, a fresh take, if you will.
Maybe a fresh take from Mr. Jeff Kellie.
What?
No. So
No.
after the PlayStation State of Play, the next event would have been Summer Games Fest. I'm just gonna put it out there before I even start talking about the news. This was a real bad show. It was 2 hours long. It did not need to be. The pacing was awful. There was a lot of cinematics. There was a lot of talk that didn't need to happen. I was not a fan of this show. It was very long. But it opened with a trailer for Aliens Dark Descent. The whole
Horrible
time.
name.
Yeah. The whole time I was like, is this just Colonial Marines 2? Because it's a really incredible CG reveal. And then for like 4 seconds. Is it even 4 seconds? Let me check. I'm going to count. Let's see. Ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds. There's 3 seconds of gameplay at the end of this 3-minute trailer. It was revealed that it's like an isometric shooter. A multiplayer shooter, yeah. So I just thought it was a really funny way to open the show.
It's a horrible name. I cannot get over the name. It is one word away from Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
It's like only a few letters away. It's even worse. Like if they just mix things up a little, boom, Amnesia.
I don't. It makes me mad on behalf of the creators of Amnesia: Dark Descent. That's all I have to say. I don't have any good feelings about this.
No.
I love the Alien property. It's really just been dragged through hell and back. No, it's just been dragged through hell.
Yeah, it's not come back yet.
Back.
It's okay.
They also-
There's lots of other good, exciting announcements, right?
No.
We better hurry up.
So another reveal at the Summer Games Fest, courtesy of Mr. Kellie, was Flashback 2, which is a sequel to a 1992 game called Flashback. This was sort of a they call it a 2.5D sequel, which fills me with a rage that I can't properly describe. I don't know why. Just say it's 3D. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, what you're trying to do, but just be honest. Anyway, this was like not even a minute long. It didn't really show anything other than some Legos, I think, and a gun. And that was it. I'm sure big Flashback fans were like, woo!
I think not, because 2 reasons. I'll get real rapid because I don't want to slow us down. 1, this trailer has 30,000 views on YouTube, which is concerning. That's really low. And 2, it wasn't actually a gameplay reveal. It like showed snippets of gameplay projected onto other images in a blurry way.
That's
Terrible,
really good.
terrible reveal.
It's really good and cool. I like that. Here's another trailer they showed off. It's called Witchfire, which is a dark fantasy first-person shooter. You heard that right. It kind of reminds me of that movie with Vin Diesel from a few years ago where he was like a witch hunter and he had a gun. That's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting. We'll talk a little bit more about Vin Diesel later in the show.
I hate that you had to. I hate that has to be the case. Move on fast, please.
Yeah, it looks pretty generic. But you know what?
It looks fun-ish.
Okay.
It's like bombastic, I guess, but not for me, probably.
Every game wants to have the sort of like BioShock, like gun in one hand, plasmid in the other, which is fine. But I'm over it. So after Witch Hunter was a trailer for
Witch Hunter. Made up a
Witchfire.
name.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Vin Diesel movie.
Stop.
Witchfire. So after that trailer was the trailer for a game, surprisingly, a space horror game. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of games, for some reason, shown off this summer so far have been space horror games. It's called Fort Solace. They probably say it in the trailer, but I can't remember. Starring 2 men.
What kind of setup is that?
Troy Baker's in this game.
And
Roger Clark, who very fond of Roger Clark. Let me just be clear. I will not slander his good name. I'm not saying anything about Troy Baker. But it is a sci-fi horror game, as I said, space horror game, spooky, scary game, inspired by the movie Moon. And get this, you guys, what else it's inspired by? Dead Space. What?
Wow.
No way. No way. I don't know if it didn't have a release date, as far as I could see.
No.
So, who knows? See you in 5 years, maybe.
Yeah. Speaking of seeing you in 5 years, 10 years ago, a game called Routine was announced. And then at Summer Games Fest, it got re-revealed. It is a, get this, space horror game.
No way.
It does look really cool. I think it's probably my favorite of the space horror games in this showcase. I think it looks really cool.
It looks unique compared to the other 5.
Yeah, and it has music by the guy who did Doom 2016's music, which is kind of neat. I don't have a lot to say. I think it just looks really cool and better than most of those reveals, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to play it. Maybe.
I would agree with you there. Oh, maybe. Oh.
Huh? What? Who?
What? You won't believe who made an appearance.
I mean, I will because he tweeted about it before, but go ahead, tell me.
Our favorite steaming head, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah?
That's it.
Yeah.
His movie trailer, right?
Yeah.
For, what's the movie?
Black Adam.
Black Adam. Not a game. But we know what Jeff likes to see. He likes to see movies. So he said, you guys are going to sit down and you're going to watch this Black Adam trailer and you're going to like it.
I didn't. I was watching it not live, so I just skipped through it.
Yeah, I blocked it out. I didn't watch it live at all.
That's really funny.
I wanted to see Dwayne. I wanted to see his steaming head, his beautiful bald steaming head, but it wasn't enough for me.
Well, good news. After Dwayne made his appearance, we got to see another space game.
Yes.
It's called Stormgate. It is an action. It's like an action game. I don't know. It looks pretty generic. I don't even want to talk about it. It was just a 5-minute cinematic for a game that we didn't see gameplay for, and I'm like, I don't care. You can't just do cinematics. But after that, we got a look at High Water, an indie post-apocalyptic exploration game. It's coming out later this year. I'm a big fan of this one. I think the style's real cool, and I think I'm always excited about games like this, and I think it'll be a really interesting thing to play.
Yeah, I like the style. I also like that this is probably the most realistic apocalypse scenario for us.
Yeah. Sinking.
Just getting flooded everywhere. But it's an incredibly beautiful world. Sorry, I had an itch. I had an itch that I needed to scratch on my stomach.
I'm not cutting that.
Don't leave that in.
I have to. I have to.
Oopsie.
What?
Sorry, sometimes I click the wrong button and I go to a video. So they also showed off a new game called American Arcadia, which is not. It looks. I mean, the style kind of looks a little bit similar to the game we just saw.
Yeah.
Sort of like a colorful, cel-shaded, blocky world. But yeah, it's a game. It looks like it's some sort of utopia game. Stealth, maybe. It kind of looked like, what's that game where you're the little guy and you have to inside.
We'll talk about inside more later.
Then you're in a car.
It looks pretty okay.
It looks interesting. The story looks kind of fun. There's like a surveillance element.
Yeah, you're being hunted. I don't fully understand what's going on, but it's cool.
Maybe a little dystopia, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, for all you One Piece fans out there, the billions of you that have devoted years and years of your life to One Piece, a new One Piece game is coming out called One Piece Odyssey, and they showed a trailer for it. It's supposed to release this year, whatever that means.
It's real pretty.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I have no connection to One Piece whatsoever. I watched it once when I was little.
So, do you know the answer
episode.
of am I allowed to play this without One Piece knowledge?
I don't think you should play it without One Piece knowledge. You don't know these characters.
Okay.
You don't know their stories.
Okay.
I know Nami because she's got the red hair. And I know, and other notable features. And I know Luffy D. Monkey, because he's the main character and he's really stretchy.
Uh-huh.
And Zoro because...
The Zoro.
Well, yeah, he's, Actually, I feel like I know a lot more about One Piece than I thought I did.
Maybe you can play this game.
Maybe I can play this game. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty. That's pretty much all there is to it. They also showed off the new Saints Row game that's coming out in
Couple months.
November.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
They showed off character customization, which unfortunately nothing will ever compare to Saints Row 3 character customization. Actually, it looks pretty similar to Saints Row 3.
I was gonna say, if anything, I think Saints Row, this one might compare most closely, if any game, to Saints Row 3.
Yeah, actually, you might be right there. But it's out now, so you can play in the character creator now for a little while. Not the game, just the...
It's an interesting idea to let people design their characters before the game come out, but also it feels weird because it's June and this game's out in many months versus doing it like a couple weeks in advance.
It would have made more sense in August.
Yeah.
I mean, if the game was still coming out in August. But it's interesting because it's funny that you say that. The Sims 4 did the same thing. They did the create a sim demo, and that was like all you could do was create the Sims. But and then our friends over at the Bluebird team, you know what? They're not my friends.
Okay.
They revealed a trailer for a game that you may have heard of called Layers of Fear. You may have played it. You may have played the second one. Well, you're wrong. This is Layers of Fear.
That was Layers of... Wait. Oh, those ones were Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
And this
one
one's
is Layers of Fear.
No, this one's Layers of Fears.
No, this one's oh yeah, you're right. So there's an extra S.
Yeah, it's really good marketing.
I think it looks kind of fun. Not fun. That's not the word I meant to say. The first Layers of Fear was obviously capitalizing on PT super hard.
Yeah.
Walking simulator, crazy wife, You're losing your mind. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word crazy. Your wife is the enemy.
That's a very different implication. Is this an Adam Sandler movie?
This one kind of looks very similar. I don't know why they're calling it Layers of Fears. I think that's a really stupid name for a game that already is Layers of Fear. And a lot of the scenes look the same. So I'm like, are they just like redoing the first game with like more money? I don't know. Anyway, it's supposed to come out in early 2023. And that was the Layers of Fears trailer. Made in Unreal Engine 5.
That's the only part that's cool to me because it's like going to be probably one of the first, if not the first, majorly released Unreal Engine 5 game.
Who gave Bluebird Team the Unreal Engine 5 keys?
I'm going to guess Unreal. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah, you might be right.
Did
they show anything else off at the Summer Games Fest?
Oh, yeah, they did. So it should be exciting, but they brought up Mr. Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog lead.
Oh.
And they were like, hey, what's up, Neil? We still have 15 minutes left in the show. What could you possibly have to say for 15 minutes? And Neil just kind of like mumbled a bunch. He talked about the new Last of Us multiplayer game. We've known about this for a while, based on Last of Us 2. And he said that it has evolved into its own full game with its own story and everything. They showed a little bit of concept art. I think it looks really cool. I think this was a really dumb way to reveal it, though. And then Neil talked about the Last of Us television show. No trailer. He just showed a new still. And then he brought out Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. And he said, they're in the show as not their characters, just in the show. And I'm like, well, that sounds interesting, I guess. And then, very begrudgingly, they announced a new game because it got leaked a few hours before this. And they were very salty about it. And it was very visible that they were salty about it. And they wouldn't stop being salty. They announced Last of Us Part 1. It is a full ground-up remake for PlayStation 5 coming out September 2nd of The Last of Us from 2013. So it's fine. I want to be excited, but it's $70. And The Last of Us still looks pretty good. Like, not this good, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, if it was $40 or $30, I'd be excited. But $70 is too much to ask for something that is not even being freshly designed.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts exactly. I think $70 is a ridiculous amount to pay for a game that people have probably already paid $60
Twice on.
I have. You've already spent $120 on this game, and now they want you to spend $190 on this game. It's like, no way. Aren't people just tired of The Last of Us? Aren't we just fatigued of this game?
Apparently not, if Jeff's willing to spend 15 minutes talking about it.
Well, it's like, I get it. It's an incredible game. It sells very, very well. But it's to the point where it's like, okay, we need to just let this thing rest. You know? Especially with the TV series coming out.
Yeah.
I was confused. I mean, they didn't need to show us that still.
No.
How did they not have enough footage for like a teaser, at least?
Like a 20-second teaser, right?
Yeah, it's like they've been shooting this thing for like 2 months. They're like done now. How do you not have enough for like a really quick teaser? Like literally, like you said, like 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just so sick. I'm done. I'm done with The Last of Us. I am. But I was excited to see. I really like Ashley Johnson, so I'm glad that she's going to be in the show, whatever that means.
Yeah, I guess so.
Capacity. But it will be hard. She has a very recognizable voice. I think it would be kind of hard to like hear her and be like, no, that's not Ellie.
Exactly. Putting them next to their characters will be peculiar.
This is not a dig at Ashley Johnson, but I have more faith in Troy Baker to become unrecognizable than I do in her.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she has a very, very recognizable voice.
I agree.
Whereas Troy Baker can become unrecognizable in certain instances.
Yeah, his voice can... He's really, really good at adjusting his voice.
He's versatile. Which is why I bought that NFT of his voice.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did that, Kelly. I forgot you spent $100,000 on Troy Baker's voice. Anyway, before we close out the Last of Us news, I guess, Neil Druckmann, the final announcement of Summer Games Fest 2022 was Neil Druckmann saying that his new project is too early in development to talk about.
Wah, wah.
And then they ended the show.
Wah.
Yeah, it was real goofy. But thankfully, they also had, a couple hours later, a little Devolver show. So, Kelly, why don't you get us started on that?
Sure. So, at the Devolver show, they showed off that cute little game called Cult of the Lamb. We saw it a few months ago where you play as a little lamb and you are a cult leader. And you are evil and you are very, very cute. They showed off this trailer that also had the new release date in it. It's coming out August 11th.
Woo!
Which is cool, very soon. They're just so cute, but it's so evil. It kind of reminds me of like those early YouTube like animated videos where everything would be really cute, but it was very evil.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying the same thing, but I just cannot emphasize enough
how cute and evil it is.
So that was fun. That was at the Devolver Digital event. Is that what they call it? Or they just call it the Devolver thing?
Do you want to know what it was called this year?
What was it called?
The Devolver Digital Marketing Countdown to Marketing.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's all about like making fun of E3 conferences while also announcing some games.
Also.
Stop. I tried.
I know. I'm sorry. They also showed off a trailer for a game called Angerfoot, where you literally use your foot to kick a lot and a gun, and you're green. That I don't know if that's definitive that you're green. You could maybe be another color. I don't really know. But anyway, you kick a lot.
Yeah.
This is a PC game coming to PC in 2023. It looks very fun. Maybe not fun. It looks very bombastic.
It looks bombastic is the word.
Yeah.
Another game that they showed off was called The Plucky Squire. And honestly, this game looks incredible to me. It is like a storybook style game, but near the end of the trailer, your little character jumps off the storybook page and it becomes a little like a toy looking 3D platformer. And I'm really excited by this. It reminds me a lot of like Mario Odyssey, where you jump in and out of walls. And I just cannot wait to see this. And I hope it comes sooner rather than later, because it has no release window, sadly.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it's visually incredible.
Just the way the pages look too, like on the desk, like the pages in the light, the way, I don't know, it really does look incredible.
Another game that looked incredible to close out the Devolver show was a game called Skate Story. This game is a skateboarding game with music by Blood Cultures. It is very pretty. I think it has a really interesting, like, polygonal art style that I think will really suit it well, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So that closed out the Devolver event, much smaller. And the last event we have, which is a big one, so we promised to move quickly through it so we don't take 2 full hours of your time, was the Xbox and Bethesda showcase.
Woo!
Get us started, Kelly.
Yeah, so they had the caveat at the beginning of the show that every game shown are within a year release date window, and they're all included on Game Pass. So every single game will be out within June, like 12th. 12th, 2023. So that's really cool. They opened the show on a Redfall trailer, which is that sort of like vampire co-op game where you kill vampires in a co-op setting.
Co-op.
Co-op. It looked cool. I thought it was cool that they opened on this trailer, and I think it was cool to see gameplay. Sorry, Cookie's like about to fall off the bed.
I'm leaving this in. I'm watching. We should live commentary. Cat about to fall off bed.
We'll see if she does.
Yeah.
And then very exciting, right after that, no breaks. There were no breaks in this show, folks. It was just go, go, go. There was a gameplay trailer for Hollow Knight Silksong, which was super, super exciting, very unexpected. This game, especially as we heard earlier in the show that every game was going to be out within the year, I think this one might skirt just to June 12th, to be honest.
June 12th, 2023, probably.
Because, we did not get a release date. I think we get a window of 2023, but that was it.
I cannot believe this game's finally back, because, like, I feel like this game was never actually going to come out, and now we've seen it, and it's also weird that the marketing has shifted, because it was, like, a Nintendo-centric marketing thing, and now it's not only in an Xbox show, it's on Game Pass on release day.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be a shift.
Yeah, I feel like Xbox has really, really branched out, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But they've really, really branched out with, like, what they show off in their conferences.
They're touching every base they can. It's really impressive and cool.
Yeah, they're like that song that's like, hands touching me, touching you, Sweet Caroline.
Yeah. Sweet Xbox.
Caroline. This trailer was then followed by a trailer for a game called High on Life, which big Rick and Morty heads, big Rick and Morty fans were probably like, wow, this kind of feels like Rick and Morty. And then immediately it was like, made by the same people who made Rick and Morty. And you're like, oh, that's why. Very cheeky,
Mm-hmm.
very sci-fi, cheeky, like goopy. There's
Obscene.
goop everywhere. Yeah. Some fun voice, like a fun voice cast. And this one was out. When is this one out? Let me look.
No release window on this one yet. Or no, I'm sorry. It's out October, right?
Yeah.
So
It's also a first-person shooter.
it looks really interesting and wonky.
It does look wonky. I don't think I'll play it, but
it's on Game Pass, so I might give it a try. That's the thing. It's like I wouldn't have tried this game, but it being on Game Pass makes me really excited.
that's true. I got rid of my Game Pass. I'm gonna have to get it back.
At some point, yeah. Well, a game that you might want to get it back for is Plague Tale Requiem. Kellie's nodding no. We got a new trailer for Plague Tale Requiem. Not a lot to say on this one because I played Plague Tale Innocence a little bit for the show and I hated it. It was just very, 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 very slow and boring. But the sequel looks better graphically and it's out this year. So look forward to playing that on your Game Pass subscription if you're excited. Sorry if I offended you. Another very exciting game that Kellie's also excited for is Forza Motorsport. We got a gameplay reveal. It's very pretty, like a Forza game is expected to be. Sorry, I got nothing else. And also at the top of Kellie's Game Pass exciting list is Microsoft Flight Simulator, another new game out this November. Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th anniversary. Didn't we just get one of these?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure. Anyway. Oh yeah, Halo is coming to it. There's a Halo
I thought that was
chip.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the music.
Me too. I love the music in Halo. So quickly following the news of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, the 40th anniversary, Blizzard showed off Overwatch 2, which is the sequel to Overwatch.
Come on, you gotta have something to say. You have hundreds of hours in Overwatch.
So I used to play a lot of Overwatch, for those who don't know. Like a lot of Overwatch. Like more than I was probably good for my blood pressure, for my heart rate, for my blood. I already said blood pressure.
For your soul.
It was not good for me. But I played a lot. And I have to say that I am not ultra impressed with Overwatch 2, what I've seen. I'm not playing it just because I don't want to, but it is free to play for Overwatch 1 owners, which is exciting.
I thought it was free for everybody.
It might be. I think it's like if you have Overwatch 1, you just like upgrade your game basically, and you get the PvE mode.
So you keep all the stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets a October 4th for early access release date.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, I don't know, seems kind of far for early access when the beta was out like last month, but okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like, I'm excited for people who like Overwatch because I think it'll be nice to have like a refresh for the game. I'm just not sure this game has any more longevity. The roster, in my opinion, is just too big. They can't balance it, and it's not fun. I don't think they do a very good job at like moderation. There's a lot of like not so great people who play the game, and there were some not so great people who made the game. So you know what? Maybe it all comes full circle.
Goodbye. Yeah.
After this trailer for Overwatch 2, they showed off a trailer for Arbra, History Untold, which looked like I thought it was going to be like Civ 6. It was not. It seems to be a Civilization-like game, but it's called Ara, and I feel dumb saying that. It feels like a sound effect, like me going Ara. But anyway, yeah, like I said, seems to be a Civ-type game. Don't really know when it's coming out. Let's see. Maybe there was a release date. No? No.
Within the next 12 months.
That's true, and it's on Game Pass. But it is there's like an insider program that you can join, which I assume is kind of like a beta.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we saw a brief trailer for the new expansion for Fallout 76, which is Fallout 76 The Pit, which is kind of goes back to a location we visited in Fallout 3 DLC, The Pit, which is post-apocalyptic. I cannot talk today.
Try it again. Deep breath.
Post-apocalyptic Pittsburgh. So, that's cool, I guess.
No.
I didn't really like that. Wasn't
You don't have to pretend it's cool.
I didn't love The Pit. It wasn't my favorite DLC in Fallout 3. It was kind of a slog. So I don't really know why they chose this place to go back to, but also I don't think Boston is that close to Pittsburgh.
No. Wait, no, it's in West Virginia.
Oh no, you're right. Boston's Fallout 4. Duh. Okay, I guess that's a little bit closer. Is it? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it looked fun, I guess. I don't know if you're a big Fallout 76 fan.
Well, I don't think anybody listening to the show is, so let's figure just move on.
Yeah, okay.
Forza Horizon 5 is getting DLC based on Hot Wheels, which honestly is kind of fun. So that's something to look forward to. We also got another reveal trailer for Arc 2, starring Vin Diesel. This was weird, because this show specifically was like, we are only showing trailers with gameplay, which made a lot of sense to me. And then they had one cinematic-only trailer, and it was for Arc 2 with Vin Diesel. Which is really weird to not show gameplay since it's supposed to be out in the next 12 months, right? Right?
Sure.
I don't know.
See you next year, Vin, Mr. Diesel.
It was a funny trailer because it was just Vin Diesel grunting a little bit. But after that, we got a trailer for Scorn, a really upsetting, like, H.R. Geiger inspired game. It's really gross. I'm real excited.
This game has been in development for a long time.
Yeah, and it finally got a release date, October 21st. So, very exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'm excited.
It's real gross.
It's nasty. There's only so much nastiness I can handle. You know?
Well, maybe there's some other exciting, less nasty stuff, right?
Yeah. So after this trailer for Scorn, there was a trailer for a game called Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of weird to give your game like a subtitle when it's a new IP.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
But, no biggie. It seems to be sort of like an adventure, fantasy, magic, guns game. You play as somebody named Nor and her little fox friend. The combat looked kind of fun. I don't love combat that's like one person at a time. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fight you, not like the Assassin's Creed, like, I'll fight you and you stand over there and now I'll fight you. It just doesn't feel realistic to me if it's not turn-based, which this doesn't seem to be turn-based. So, but the world looked really cool. And then after that, there was a Minecraft 2 trailer. Just kidding. It's called Minecraft Legends.
It felt like that's what they were setting up, so it's funny.
It did. It's like a Minecraft strategy game. It kind of looked a little bit like a mobile game. No hate, just how I felt. Very, very colorful. Coming in 2023, just like Flintlock was. I don't know if I said that. So both of those are 2023 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, there was a game called Lightyear Frontier. Nothing to do with Toy Story or Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really
as far as we know.
That one.
As far as we know, where you are like a space explorer maybe, and you land on a planet and you have to farm and colonize and create a sustainable community.
It's just pretty, and it has farming, and it's first person, and you're robots, and I'm excited.
Yes, and that is coming early access in spring 2023.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works on PC or on Xbox, but I'm still excited.
Yeah, it is really pretty. I just am I don't love building games. I don't know, but this looks kind of fun. I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's just really cute. And then we
It
got a
is
furry. We got some furry
Oh.
stuff.
Oh,
Gunfire Reborn is a shooter game where you play as little furries. It looks fine. I'm excited. It's an interesting concept. I think
they don't need to. You know what? Never mind.
it's just a little shooter, a little first-person furry shooter.
Yeah, it's cute. I don't think they need to give girl furries boobs. There, I said it.
Bold. Bold.
It doesn't really make sense if you think about actual animals.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts. Just my 2 cents.
Well, they also showed off a game called title here, The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say.
It's kind of involved.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. It's coming spring 2023. It is a 2.5D. Oh wait, you hate that. It's a game, a mystery
It's fine
game.
when you say it. It's fine when you say it.
Okay, it's a mystery game. It looks real interesting, really cool art style, kind of like clay-like. I'm real excited about it. How do you feel, Kelly?
I was excited for this. It feels very like Eldritch, Lovecraftian, I guess. And I thought the main character to me was very appealing.
Cute.
Because he's a tall, skinny detective who also seems to be getting possessed at some point by the Eldritch Force, which really was exciting to me. So
he's real cute.
Yeah, I'll probably play.
After that, we got a reveal trailer for As Dusk Falls, a cinematic story game. It's coming out July 29th. I'm sorry, July 19th. I am not capable of reading. I think it looks real ugly. I'm sorry.
It's just not. It's just not. Like it. You're right.
I don't like
it's ugly. Like
the art style's yucky.
I see what they were trying to do, but it's just like it doesn't work for me.
I don't like it. It looks really bad in motion, in my opinion. So
It just looks dumb. It looks stupid. Like, why do I have to move one by one, but the cars and everything can move like, you know what I mean? It looks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point. A lot of the other stuff moves with consistent motion, but the characters are just stills.
Yeah. But Obsidian announced a new game right after that.
Whoa.
Little game called Pentiment, where you play as a little guy, a little artist.
Little guy.
Yeah, a little guy, a little artist named Andreas. It's kind of like the style seems to be like an old painting, like a little not Renaissance, but what's what I'm looking for? Like those old tapestries and stuff,
yes.
and those old books. That's like this art style of the game, and it seems to be a very choice-based game, led by or written by Josh Sawyer, who I really enjoy. He worked on Fallout New Vegas. I think he is a really great writer. So I'm very excited for this. I saw this and I was like, yeah, woo, woo, yeah, woo. Because there seems to be some darkness happening underneath the surface of the, not stereotypical, but the story that we see. There seems to be some darkness lurking underneath.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the style is just like so interesting. I like that it's like an old storybook.
I'm excited to see what it's like. It's also exciting that it's out so soon.
I know. November 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Get your Game Pass, folks. Get your game.
What?
Nothing.
Were you about to say a swear?
No.
Move on before you say a swear by accident.
So another Obsidian game that we saw was the game Grounded, which was shown off a while ago. But it got a full release date of September 10th.
Yay.
That's the one where you're playing as four youths, and you get shrunk like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in the backyard. It's like a co-op game. There's bugs.
There's something intrinsically less exciting to me about this kind of game when you could just go play it basically in full right now.
Yeah. I don't like the bugs.
Well, you don't like bugs, so that makes sense.
The idea of a giant spider is really upsetting to me. Not even the idea of a giant worm is more upsetting to me than anything else. I really don't like worms. I couldn't watch Dune because there's a giant worm in that. Spoiler alert for all my worm heads. Don't watch it. There's a big worm and it will upset you. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not, but anyway. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like it's not as exciting because you kind of can play the game already now.
Yeah.
And then after, we got a trailer for a game called Ereban Shadow Legacy, where you play as a robot fighter, a robot herself.
You're beating up robots, I think.
You're beating up robots. There seems to be some sort of like fantastical element to it where you can disappear and reappear at will with like shadows. And you're fighting robots. I don't know if it's post-apocalyptic. I don't really know anything about the game. The trailer was not super concise.
It was pretty though.
It was very nice to look at, and I liked the way she was able to like.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
Or they, I should say.
One more time.
The little robot person. They were like.
Okay.
Disappearing and reappearing. No release window.
Within the next year.
Within the next year, I guess that's true. So I guess that is our release window.
Yeah, that's the bright side of saying that at the start is it gives every game a release window implied.
Yeah.
So, another game that we saw, the first gameplay of was Diablo 4, as well as a reveal of a new character class. Kelly, do you have an opinion?
I've never played Diablo, so I don't really know. But I was really sold when they were showing the character creation. This particular aspect of it is reminding me of Baldur's Gate, and I'm kind of like in. But I don't know if I could do any of the PvP stuff. That's really not for me.
Yeah.
Even though
I think it looks really cool, but like not for me. It just seems a little too extensive almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A game that looks a little more like it's for me is a Ravenlock, which was revealed. It's kind of like a very mildly pixelated 3D action adventure game, heavily inspired by Alice in Wonderland. I really like the art style, and I want to see more of this game to see if it's something I want to play. But I think it looks really cool on a surface level.
Yeah, I would agree. I was really into this trailer. Thought it was really cool and colorful.
The next thing we saw was a big surprise for me, and that was, is it Jeppe? Previous head of Playdead, Mr. Carlson, revealed a new game called Cocoon. So we knew about a space game by the Playdead team, but this is the first time we're seeing it, and it's very exciting because it's out within the next year. I think it's really cool. I think it's a really interesting way to take the inside formula in a new direction. And I think it's also exciting because we still do have Somerville coming out this year, meaning within the next year, we're getting two heavily inspired by inside games. And I'm very excited about that. I think it looks really cool. It's super wonky and super interesting. And I think it's going to be really fun to play. What were your thoughts? Did you like this trailer, Kelly?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't get enough to really like it. But
like you feel like you need a longer trailer?
Yeah.
I understand.
But I do like the style of the game. It looks very clean and crisp. And I like the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
How he was like, bloop.
He's very cute.
Bloop. Yeah, I really liked that. I love a little guy. If your game has a little guy in it, I'll probably be playing it.
A game that did not have a little guy that came after this was Wo Long, the new game from Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, kind of looked like it might be Neo 3, but it is not. It's something completely new, and I'm real excited. It looks like a really fun action game, and it's coming out in the next 12 months. Not much to say. This is another one I'm not certain I'll like, but I'm really happy it's on Game Pass, so I don't have to. I could just play it risk free, you know. Did you like this trailer?
I thought it was really cool. I really liked the end with the big like dragon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It's kind of all I got. I don't have any attachment to Neo or anything, so I didn't feel like, yeah.
I get that. It looks really pretty at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. I will say what I was like, for, was shortly after that was announced, Atlas announced that Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Royale, and Persona 3 Portable are all coming to Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation 5. This was the most incredible moment for me. I was shaking, crying, screaming, yelling.
Did you actually cry?
I didn't cry, but I was so excited. For those who don't know, I'm a big Persona 3 Portable fan. I've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But my PSP is busted, so I can't play it anymore legally. So now I can in the next 12 months. This will begin with a rollout of Persona 5 Royale first in October of this year. So,
what is the most exciting part about this for you? Is it that it's coming to modern platforms? Is it that it's coming to Game Pass? What's the deal?
I think that it's coming to modern platforms. Persona 3 is kind of hard to play. Even now, you can play Persona 3 or Persona 3 FES on PlayStation 2. Or maybe some sort of backwards like cloud compatibility thing on 4. I'm not really sure. And Persona 4 and 5 are a lot more accessible. Persona 5 is obviously the most accessible. You can play it on like the Switch. I mean, you can play Royale or you can play Strikers on Switch.
Yeah.
But you can play 5 on modern console or, PS4. And Persona 4 Golden you can play on Steam. And Switch. Can you play Persona 4 Golden on Switch?
No. The Switch doesn't have any Persona Steam, besides Strikers.
And you can play it on PS4 and PS5.
Yes. It's I feel like all of this really points out how confusing the Persona releases are. But I'm just excited for specifically Persona 3 Portable because that's like the least... It's a PSP game, It didn't need to come out, but they're doing it, and I'm excited about that.
I agree. And I think people were upset on Twitter because they were like, well, why didn't they use the overworld? Because Persona 3 Portable is kind of a point and click until you get to the combat parts where you're actually like walking around. But honestly, I don't really care.
Yeah, no,
For me, it's still worth it.
It's also on Game Pass, which is so thrilling.
Yeah, especially since I'm only paying $10 a month to do so. But this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, is that it's very, very, for me, it felt very, very out of left field for them to be putting the Persona games on the 3, 4, and 5 on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Xbox doesn't really do that. They're not really into like the big JRPG scene like that. So I really do believe that they're branching out.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any other big Japanese like endeavors that they're undertaking.
We got a fun little not hostage clip of Kojima. He was like, "You guys, I'm working on a new cloud game for Xbox. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to talk about it any more than that, but that's what I'm doing." Which was kind of like, it was very surprising. I don't think anybody was, because Kojima's like a PlayStation guy.
Has been forever, yeah.
Has been forever. So this was very surprising.
It's exciting to me because I feel like it's obvious that he's doing this because he's seeking a new way to like get creative fulfillment, and whatever's going to get him creative fulfillment is what he should do, where he should go.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of cool, and we've talked about this a little bit, but there's very much a sort of convergence of it's not the lines between like Xbox, PlayStation. They're not quite as strong as they once were.
They're pretty blurry, yeah.
They're starting to get a little bit blurrier and blurrier, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing.
Except for a certain exclusive.
Yes, the show was closed out as expected. Was closed out with a little game called Starfield. This was Todd came on stage and he said, "Hey everybody, I've got a hot spanking new 10-minute gameplay to show you." I don't know if it was 10 minutes. I feel like it was like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like a 15-minute showcase that included talking and a cinematic opening.
Yeah, so they showed gameplay, they showed exploration, they showed combat, they showed base building, ship building, character customization. I feel like it was a pretty robust preview or reveal. We saw a lot, and I don't know. I have a lot of feelings. The frame rate, and this isn't normally a big deal for me, but the first thing I noticed was the frame rate was really not that. Something was weird about the frame rate.
It was a bit choppy in this trailer.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the stream.
No, because watching it back on like this recorded video, it's not nearly as bad. Or
Yeah.
it's not like
I was
fixed. It's
I
not
was gonna
fixed.
say.
Sorry, I phrased that completely wrong. It is not
I was
fixed.
going to say, then it's not a problem. But it might, I don't know. So that was a little, I don't want to say alarming because that sounds like way serious, but it was a little bit like, that's kind of weird. Why would you show us?
Hopefully it's just because the game's completely finished and they're just sort of polishing it now, and that's one of the things they're polishing.
Yeah. And I will say the NPC interactions, I don't know. Some of them were really not good. Like the animation, the facial animation, some of them were really not good. And some of them were good. Like it was kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah. Again, hopefully that's one of those things they just need to polish over the next year before it comes out.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if maybe these were these little things that they saw and they were like, we need to delay the game.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of polish that we still need to do. But the combat looked okay. I thought it looked fine. I don't know what I'm going to do without the VAT system. Or just like wildly swinging my sword around in Skyrim. I might just be lost, And then I don't know. I'm not super into resource gathering and base building, so I really hope that they find a way to make that compelling.
Yeah, I have
Those
high
thoughts.
hopes. I thought it was a really cool reveal, and I'm glad we finally saw it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Xbox did a pretty good show. There were some slow points in the middle specifically, but overall, I think the pacing was way better. Trailers were a lot snappier, and there was a lot less time between them, meandering. So I think Xbox definitely showed their cards in the best way they could. I think PlayStation and Xbox both had great shows, so I was real excited about that.
Yes.
So Kelly.
Yes.
That was not E3. Just a quick little thing. This is breaking for us. While we were talking, there was Resident Evil Village DLC announced. It is Shadow of Rose, a story that seems to be a sequel following the daughter of main character Ethan as she goes through the same locations of Village in a weird, distorted manner, as well as being able to play all of Resident Evil Village now in third person. So this was DLC announced coming in the gold edition of Resident Evil 8. You'll also be able to pay to upgrade Village, so you don't have to buy a whole new edition just to play these things. But I think it's very exciting. I really wasn't expecting to see this because Capcom had a showcase today that they were pretty specifically like, no new games. But I guess DLC isn't a new game, so they broke that rule a little bit.
I think it's interesting. I feel like the Resident Evil timeline is always in flux.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this girl has aged like
It's
18
16
years.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
16 years.
It's 16 years later, they said.
It's like, so where's everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with characters who were alive at the end of Resident Evil 6?
I guess we'll find out, maybe.
Resident Evil 9?
And Resident Evil 9. I'm
It
assuming
looks cool.
I'm assuming this is going to be a setup for Resident Evil 9 with Rose. So,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really excited. I think it's really cool. I think the third person mode is a really, really interesting idea.
Yeah.
So
I wonder. I wish they could retroactively go back and do it for Ethan.
that's what they're doing. You
You
can play all of Resident Evil Village, all of
Oh.
it in third person.
My God. Cookie?
Is Cookie
Oh
excited?
my God. She's so excited. She just yawned, but it was like not sleepy. It was like, yeah.
I'll probably replay all of Resident Evil Village just to play it in third person.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So,
I didn't get it. I thought it was just for the DLC. I didn't realize it was like,
No, I think DLC is both first and third person available as well.
wow.
So
Wow. I'm
that
excited.
is a close to not E3 season. We might have a couple more things coming along the pipe. Presumably Nintendo has something coming up. We were going to push this episode to Tuesday recording because it seemed like that's when Nintendo was going to do it, but now they haven't even announced it, so that's not going to happen. So we'll talk about it next week, I guess. Maybe, hopefully. Probably not.
I think there's going to be, rumors say there's going to be a direct on the 29th.
Yeah, which seems crazy because they've never done that, but hey, this year's full of unprecedented things, so why not?
Yeah. Who knows what it's going to be?
So, well, Kelly, we're back for our second year. It's off to a really good, long episode start. I'm excited.
Me
I'm
too.
excited to be back next week, hopefully with some other exciting news. Maybe I'll play some actual video games. We'll see.
You know, it's funny. I actually did play a video game this week, but I'm
Maybe you
going to
should-
talk about it next
I was going to say, maybe save it because we're getting close to that 2-hour mark. And who knows if we'll have news next week.
Yeah, it might be a really, nothing.
It's very possible that it's just a nothing week because this week was an everything week.
Well, we can talk about my acid reflux medication.
Yeah, we'll save that. Tune in next week to hear more about Kelly's acid reflux, I guess. Thanks, everybody, for coming back after our break and for another year of talking games. We look forward to many more episodes.
Thanks. Bye.